Welcome to History That Matters. Imagine you are sitting in a laboratory at Yale University in the early 1960s. A man in a lab coat tells you the study is about memory and learning. Your job seems simple. Read word pairs to another volunteer, test his answers, and each time he gets one wrong, press a switch that gives him an electric shock. The machine in front of you has 30 switches. They begin at 15 volts and climb step by step all the way to 450 volts. At first, it feels uncomfortable but manageable. Then the man in the other room starts protesting. He complains about pain. He says he wants to stop. Eventually, he stops answering. You turn to the scientist. Surely the experiment is over now, but the scientist stays calm and says, "Please continue." This was the heart of Stanley Milgram's obedience experiment, one of the most famous and disturbing studies in psychology. The participant believed he was the teacher. The person supposedly receiving shocks was the learner. But the drawing was rigged. The real participant always became the teacher, and the learner was an actor working with the experiment. The shocks were not real, but the teacher did not know that. Milgram designed the situation after World War II, while trying to understand obedience to destructive authority. The question was not whether people liked hurting others. The question was whether ordinary people would keep obeying when an authority figure told them the harm was necessary. The pressure was not dramatic. No one screamed threats at the teacher. The experimenter used a set sequence of calm, verbal prods. Please continue. The experiment requires that you continue. It is absolutely essential that you continue. You have no other choice. You must go on. That calmness is what makes the study so unsettling. The authority figure did not need a weapon. He had a clipboard, a laboratory, and the appearance of responsibility. In Milgram's original published report, 40 men took part in the main condition. Before the study, many people expected almost no one to continue to the end. But 26 of the 40 participants obeyed the experimenter fully and went all the way to the highest switch on the machine. That number is often remembered as the shocking headline. But the behavior inside the room matters just as much. Many participants were not relaxed sadists. Milgram described people sweating, trembling, stuttering, groaning, laughing nervously, and showing severe distress. Some argued with the experimenter. Some asked who would be responsible if the learner was hurt. And still, many continued. That is the darker lesson. The study did not show that ordinary people enjoy cruelty. It showed that a structured situation can make conscience feel like disobedience. The participant was not told, "Be evil." He was told, "Do the experiment." Each step was only slightly worse than the last. 15 volts became 30, 30 became 45. The machine turned moral collapse into a sequence of small official actions. This is also why the Milgram experiment remains controversial. The study used deception. It placed participants under serious emotional stress. Later researchers and historians have questioned how fully some participants believed the setup, how Milgram presented the results, and how neatly the famous story matches the Messier archive. Those criticisms matter. The experiment should not be treated like a perfect window into human nature, but it survives because the question it asks is brutally practical. When a system gives an order, who feels responsible for the result? The person pressing the switch, the authority giving instructions, the institution that designed the room. Milgram's experiment is frightening because it does not require a monster. It requires an ordinary person, a respected authority, a series of small steps, and a story that says responsibility belongs somewhere else. The shocks were fake. The lesson was not. If you want more strange but true history, like this video and subscribe to History That Matters.